Hey there, eBay sellers! It's time for another eBay SuperSize sales of $100 or more. This is the April 2024 edition, and these sales come from my Facebook group where we have a dedicated thread every month for you to post those big whopper $100 or more sales. So make sure you're posting them in the right place for possible inclusion in a future video. So we're going to start with Susie Grant. She paid $21.36 at Goodwill and decided to lot the shirts together. Buyer accepted an offer of $100 plus shipping 10 days later. I'd rather spend the time on one listing for a bigger return on investment than listing individually. Yes, that is very time efficient. The item is a lot of 6 Tommy Bahama shirts, size extra large, silk, linen, tropical Hawaiian button-up shirts, and they sold for $100. Her investment was $21.36. Next, we've got Maggie May, and she mentioned this item in the recent podcast. She paid $4.07 for this high-end skincare product in March at Goodwill, listed for $175 and accepted an offer of $100 after a few weeks from an international buyer. This is the second item from this product line that I have sold, and she has one more. So the item is Hermetisse Professional Ubari King Age Defying Cream. $4.07 turned into $100. Okay, we've got Carrie Kochar. This was on sale from $130. I have stacks of these flatware sets that I just started listing in the past few months. Probably averaged $5 for the set. These are from sales last year where I paid one price for a huge estate pile. I accepted a best offer for $100. What a pain to ship with a broken wrist. My neighbor's teenage daughter is helping, but still. Yes, Kari, we're all rooting for you to get well soon so you can get back to life as normal. The item is Oneida Community Plate Grosvenor 85-piece silver-plated flatware set with the chest. So her investment for this one item was about $5 and it sold for $100. Diana Warren purchased at a thrift for $5, took about 2 months to sell on best offer for $100. This is Avon Derek Jeter Men's Cologne. $5, sold for $100. Kim Smith paid $3.99 at Goodwill, listed at the end of November. I used Google Lens to figure out what it was. Sold for best offer of $100. This is Robert Harrop Doggy People English Setter figurine. $4, sold for $100. Okay, we've got Eileen Cole, paid $22 for this set of 22 Bill Nye the Science Guy DVDs, listed at $125 and sold for $106 plus shipping via offer to watchers. Sold in 5 days. Wow. So $22 turned into $106 in just a few days. Catherine Farnsworth paid $35 at an outlet. These are Flavorin. I'm sure I butchered that. Anyway, they are trekking trousers, and they sold for $106. So basically your hiking pants. 35 into 106. Amy Johnson, selling off my daughter's Barbie collection. I think I originally paid around $50 for this set. Pretty good turnaround after being played with approximately for 4 years. It was a complete set. Took about 6 to 8 weeks to sell. Barbie Team Stacy Extreme Sports Playset, $115. Okay, we've got Kathleen Gifford. I have never heard of Glitterville until a day ago. Picked up of what I thought was Easter candy at Goodwill. It was in a little baggie and cost $2.50. It turned out to be very real looking Easter candy on a 6-foot garland. It was very beautiful. In doing research, I discovered it was sold at high-end department stores such as Neiman Marcus. They make decor items which are rare and pricey. I only found one on eBay which sold for $99.99. I decided to price mine at $115. It sold in 2 hours. So it's called Glitterville, and it is an Easter egg garland, like home decor. So that's a good one. Learn something new every day. Next up is Mary Alice Gray. Paid $4 at an auction. Took 8 months to sell. Took an offer of $120. This is a vintage oil painting, canvas folk art, and it's signed by Alexander somebody. I love that with the question mark. I've started looking more at artwork lately, and it is hard to make out that signature sometimes. But still, she walked away with $120 on this $4 item. Okay, Shelley Carpenter Wood. Hubby is also destashing a fraction of his nearly 9,000 books. We have sold many singles, but this is a very sought-after collection. We received the best thank you from the buyer as well. Makes it double sweet. Listed for maybe 10 days. Sold for full asking price of $125, and it weighed 40 pounds. Free to us. So the item is The Story of Civilization, Will Ariel Durant, 11-volume hardcover set. So a large set of books, $125. Bethany Henderson paid $8, sold in 1 day for full asking of $127. This is Alice of California, 1960s caftan, floral, psychedelic, moo-moo. $8, sold for $127.50. Yes, that vintage clothing is hot, as well as caftans and moo-moos. And if you're a Gen Xer, your mom probably wore some of these. I remember my mom wearing them. Okay, LaShane Stewart, found at a yard sale, paid $1. Took about 3 months to sell for full asking price. Pretty sick hat. Those of you not in the know, sick means it's great, it's amazing. Was a hard decision to sell. Vintage Atlanta Braves hat, Screaming Indian baseball cap. So this was $1, sold for $127.97. Okay, Brian Rappaport paid $30 at a garage sale in January, sold for $129.99. This is an Oasis Space cold therapy machine. Okay, great. $30 turned into $130. Lisa Corcoran found these 2 hand-carved and painted wood lorikeet birds by Charles Smith for Dinkum Birds of Australia at Goodwill. Paid $14 for both, sold about a month later for my asking price of $130 plus shipping to an international buyer. My teenage granddaughter took the photo, so she will get a cut. So there you can see the pair of hand-painted wood lorikeets, $130, and she paid $14. Janessa Winter paid $5 at a garage sale, sold in about 3 weeks for $135. Dinosaur train lights and sound train set with 10 figures. $5 sold for $135 pretty quickly. Megan Powell paid $10 at an auction, sold within a week of listing after offer sent. These are vintage Italian toll gold wall metal wall sconces. Okay, with glass teardrops. Those are pretty. $10 sold for $145. Julie Brown. Fabric continues to be a favorite item to sell for me. Having to unroll and inspect yards and yards of fabric is work, but I enjoy it. My heart almost stopped when I found this retired fabric by Waverly. I paid $13 at a high-priced fundraiser store. That's another story. The fabric sold for $149.99 in 2 weeks. So there you can see it's Waverly First Lady Floral Upholstery Fabric. And what'd she say? She paid $13, sold for $149.99. Patty Paul woke up to this bolo sold for full price, found it in a box at a flea market, and paid 50 cents. I can definitely credit this group for me being aware of it. I had it listed for about 3 months. It is a Prestige Toy Corporation 1987 vintage white clown bunny plush. 50 cents, and it sold for $149.99. Okay, next up is Ann Horst. Paid $4 at a local thrift store. Took over a year to sell. Safely delivered across the pond to Great Britain. It is a vintage Hermione Grange Harry Potter lamp. And it sold for $149.99. Stephen Gittler paid $35 at an estate sale on March 28th. Sold for $150 on April 6th. 83 pieces of Reed & Barton stainless flatware. $35 sold for $150. Bill Hunt, Hoarder House Find, zero cost to me, put on auction and sold for $153. These coins were pretty beat up, but I figured there were enough collectors of this particular type that would garner a pretty good sales price. The item is Walking Liberty half-dollar collection, lot of 15, spanning 1937 to 1945. Free and sold for $153. Andrew Silveroli won these at a local online auction for $21.50. Had been back and forth with several different buyers, but could never meet at a price. Someone swooped in out of nowhere and bought them for full asking after 7.5 months. Stephen Quayle Books, True Legends, Creatures, Angel Wars, lot of 3. $21.50, sold for $180. Leisha Rouston just bought this World War II Navy pilot leather jacket this Sunday from an estate sale. It was the last day, so everything was half off. Bought the jacket for $5. It was in horrible condition with many holes. Jackets like these sell for over $500 in good condition. As an experiment, I listed it on a 10-day auction with best offer starting at $200. Buyer offered $200 and let me know that his shop copies old jackets and creates new ones similar. To make the story short, I accepted, and it's going to Washington State. So there the item is, World War II Buero U.S. Navy brown leather sheepskin lined pilot jacket with holes. $200. Robin Riedel, haven't been able to post in a long time due to a new job. So here's a good bolo for educational purposes. It was in a plain brown box behind the counter at a thrift store I don't go to very often because they usually don't have anything good and they're on the other side of town. I knew what it was from another group I'm in. Paid up for it at $65. I could have waited to get $275, but decided to accept an offer of $200 for the cash flow, and it took about 3 months. This is a machine that makes beautiful dresses for little girls. You might find one at an estate sale of someone who liked to sew. Amanda Jane Smocking Pleater. So yes, it makes the smocking that's on the top of little girls' dresses. It's a textured look with it, it's like a geometric pattern. So if you can look up smocking and see what that is, but that's what this does. $200. Okay, Ginger Lamplight. I got this at a garage sale in October 2023 for $10. Sold for best offer of $200 with free shipping, which was $11. $10 turned into $200, and it is a Ralph Lauren reversible blanket with the patriotic colors. Dina Napoli. My friend was moving and gave me this DeKalb farming sign for free. Apparently, it's a rarer sign with the logo facing left. Has bold black lettering and no white outline. Listed for $229 and it took a best offer of $200. Sold within 24 hours. So now that I'm in farming country, I see this DeKalb logo on things. In fact, I have a Carhartt jacket with that logo on it. Not this exact one, but the DeKalb is a big deal up here. And also, we're not far from John Deere country in Moline, Illinois. So I'm looking for that stuff too. Anyway, sorry, I digress. This is a vintage DeKalb Masonite left-facing winged corn Masonite sign from 1939. It was free and sold for $200 in a day. Francisco Infante. I found this lot of Rick Riordan Percy Jackson first edition books at a thrift store for $6. I listed them for $249 and accepted an offer of $200. Collectors love this set. If I had found the first book in the series, it would have been worth at least $500. That one book alone could go for about $150. So it's Percy Jackson and the Olympians hardcover books sold for $200. Diane Stumpf purchased this large koi fish bowl for $5 at my local thrift 8 months ago. My daughter, who was with me at the time, laughed at me and said, "Are you serious?" Well, look who's laughing now. Yeah, Diane's laughing all the way to the bank. It just sold for $200 plus shipping. So there you can see it's a vintage Chinese koi fish bowl. Genevieve Polifroni bought at a Goodwill. All three were in with the kids' toys, not with the board games. $3 each, so $9 altogether. It's kind of Dune meets Risk with a lot of pieces. I knew the new movie was happening, so I bought them. Little did I know, I listed them a bit more than a year ago, and it's not 100% complete, which is disclosed in the description. Worth the wait. So this is Dune Bookcase Game Expansions, sold for $214.97. Her investment was $9. Okay, Cheryl Hinderhan bought this at a local estate auction house. Paid $4 for a box of craft items, and this was inside. I almost missed it. I had the bid for choice of the boxes on a table, picked 3, left this behind as I hadn't noticed the kit. While the next person was picking, I was checking over boxes again and saw the corner of the kit peeking out. Dang! My heart started pounding, praying the next winner, who was already closing, didn't pick that box. Hallelujah, they didn't. I threw my hand up and had next choice. Thank you, eBay Thrifting Angels. Listed at $249.99, took best offer of $224.99 after about a month of being listed. So this is Dimensions, the Gold Collection Stocking Cross Stitch Kit. Yes, and these definitely can be gold and money in the bank. Okay, Josh Halsey. I have quite a bit of these shirts but haven't been wearing them much lately. They're about $75 new, but I'm happy with the flip. Sold within 30 minutes of listing. And the brand is called RSVLTS, which is based off Teddy Roosevelt, so it's Roosevelt's. It's just spelled weird. Scare Floor 4 extra large Pixar shirt. This sold for $230. Zachary McDore, our garbage man philosopher. I found 2 old dolls plus an extra head, body parts, shoes, and doll clothes in an old steamer trunk that someone threw away around 1920s or 1930s. 5-day auction. The item is Antique Simon and Halbig porcelain doll lot with clothes. These sold for $260.55, and they were a garbage find. Julie Gambino. She is our dumpster diving grandma. She was on a podcast, I think it was 2021, talking about how she gets items to sell, and this is one of them. She says, got this out of the garbage so free as it had and had it as decor about a year in my home. I listed it and sold it in a couple of days for best offer of $262.50. I had declined 2 other offers for $200. The item is vintage L.E. Smith glass smoothie amber swung floor vase. Free, told and sold for $262.50. And you can tell we're getting to the end here because I'm tripping over my tongue, so sorry about that. Okay, Carol Hollis paid about $1 for this chart in a bulk buy of cross-stitch charts and kits off of Marketplace. I was originally very disappointed. A whole box of the gold collection kits shown in the photos were not included in the deal. Super happy when I started looking up the memorabilia charts and sorted from high to low and realized I had one of the highest selling charts. Priced it high. I had sent offers out multiple times for lower, but it sold for full price after about 3 weeks. So the item is Mirabilia Nora Corbett Cross Stitch Lady of the Flag. And I think I've seen this on either the Money Making Mondays or in the $100 thread. Somewhere along the way, I remember seeing this lady carrying the flag. So anyway, it sold for $325. Okay, Louis Prizzy, our toy expert, or one of them, found 2 of these at a local thrift for $15 each. Listed this one for $425, accepted a best offer of $399.95 after 3 days. Vintage 1960s Pearl of Wisdom August Holland Tiki art. Very interesting item. Sold for just under $400. And our cover photo is Tammy Mitchell's item. Purchased at a thrift store for $50, sold in 8 months for $402 plus shipping. And this is a quite unusual item. Pottery Barn Wakefield paper chandelier. Never even heard of such a thing. Sold for $402. And I bet it wasn't very heavy to ship since it's made of paper. Okay, next up is Stormy Renew. Paid less than $1. Bought 3 trash bags of plush at an estate sale, so about 45 stuffed animals, for $15 total. They were selling them for $1 to $5 each, but it was the last day of the sale, and the guy said, Rather than counting, how about $15 sound? Starting bid on the item was $100. It didn't get bid up until the last 10 seconds. This is a vintage large Husky plush by Walmart, 30-inch. $455. And I have seen a trend over the years that these large Husky dogs can go for a lot of money. I remember having one by Animal Alley and it sold for about 200. Many other dog breeds also sell, but I just remember seeing the Huskies. They sell pretty frequently. I've seen them a lot, so not sure what the deal is on that. People just love them and want a big one to put on their bed or who knows what, but this is a big item. I would definitely ship. Have no problem with shipping the large plush because they're easy to do, but really, $455 for this plush. That's just mind blowing to me. Okay, and we're going to end with Rachel Hilst. Paid $8 for this Omega 007 wall clock at a thrift store. It sold for full asking price of $999.99, so just under $1,000 plus shipping for a funky James Bond wall clock. Incredible. Okay, we've made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching and participating in the $100 sales thread every month. I hope you learned something new. Keep listing those items because, as we've seen, and as we see every time, things can sell immediately. Buyers can have alerts set up and they're notified when something matching their keywords is listed, and they can just pay full price and buy it. So be diligent, keep working, and have a profitable and productive day on eBay. See you next time. Bye, everybody.